you know, we probably missed something, and we're wondering, is there a question that you'd like to ask yourself?
Well, you know, in my speech today, I mentioned something that I have for the first time, although many people came up to me afterwards and said, I've been waiting for someone to say this for a long time. But we kind of sit back and assume that the way the landscape is right now is unchangeable in terms of this proprietary vendor stuff. We sit here and we're given a bill every year from our proprietary OPAC vendor for thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands, sometimes for the big ones, hundreds of thousands of dollars. For what? What are we getting out of it? We're getting our data behind a firewall that we can't share with anybody. We can't share any information about how much it's costing us because, why? Well, they're going to sue us. No, they're not. They're not going to sue us. We're paying them. So, and then we continue this route where we keep doing things as we always have. We assume that the OPAC is being used when the statistics say it's not. We don't challenge ourselves to keep track of the marketplace, which has changed dramatically. In the last 10 years, there are a number of open source, open platform products out there, which, you know, with some data migration, would provide some real power, would open up our data, and if we all did move to those types of platforms, we could do some dramatic things in terms of controlling costs, in terms of looking at ways to work through consortium, mega consortium deals. But we don't do that. It was kind of, we sat back and we just kind of take the status quo, all right. And so I found it very interesting that, I mean, for me, it's amazing that we, you know, we complain about the way that Washington works, but we act the same way. We do this lobbying stuff where we let them take our money and then they wine and dine us and we don't say a thing about it. I mean, that's really ridiculous when you think about it.
And what you're saying, Brad, is it appears that there's a lack of library leadership at the level that you are wishing that it was available.
Yeah, it's interesting that the negativity that's coming down from the top, and when it comes from the top, it really spreads quickly in an organization. Somebody at the low, you know, at the bottom of the catalogers or whatever, when that happens, it infects the organization slowly, especially the people around that person. But when it comes from the top down, it's horrible because then there's a pall over everybody. And I find this particularly with the ARL libraries, I'm sorry, but it's true because I've known a number of AULs, okay, the middle managers who have tried to incorporate or get exciting ventures up to the library, ARL library directors meetings, and it's always poo-pooed. That is a group of people who definitely are not willing to take risks, and that's unfortunate for us because many of them are at the end of their career, and they are really setting the stage for us to fail. I think we need to have leaders who are ready to take risks, and you will not see that in the ARL directors because they are more concerned about the rankings at the top and about being their top-notch library or whatever. And for many of these places, they still have a culture that's embedded in print. I mean, look at the University of Chicago. Look at that brand new library that can hold 11 million volumes. I mean, talk about an investment in print. Now, if they want to do that, that's fantastic because they've got a donor that can invest in that, and they'll take the money and produce that. But I mean, for 99% of us, that's a waste of time. I wouldn't want to go down that road anywhere. But University of Chicago can, hallelujah for them, and they'll use that to their strategic advantage. That's great. We need places like that in the future. But for the majority of us, we need to have real leadership that shows us different roadmaps, different options if we take this risk, if we go this direction. Let's try multiple directions, or some of you do this and some of us do that, and let's see what works. We don't talk like that. We don't talk about the fact that if all the ARL libraries would band together with their budgets and just stop paying Elsevier, the top 5 journal publishers, just stop it. Who are they going to sue? They're not going to sue us. We're their cash cow. You know, what's going to happen is that we'll probably bring the markets down. Is what happened. But I mean, we have that option. It's just nobody talks about that. I mean, there are ways to manage risk. I mean, that's a very dramatic way. But there are other ways to do this as well. For instance, Cornell has said that they will not sign any licenses with non-disclosure agreements. These are ways that we can change the environment because when one or two places make dramatic changes like that say, we are going to have an open access mandate with our faculty that you are going to try to publish in an open access journal rather than these commercial journals. And we are going to support promotion and tenure in that area, and we want you to deposit an institutional repository. When each of us makes those important changes at our institution, it gradually builds and snowballs. That's the kind of change we need to be doing.